What's going on? It is Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. It is Wednesday. It is July 30th. Alabama held its first practice of fall camp. Here to discuss it, here to break it down. Also preview Tank Jones' commitment tomorrow, which will be on the Pat McAfee show. So a lot to discuss. We'll play some Coach Kalen DeBoer. We'll look at some highlights. We'll look at some photos. We'll bring out what stood out today. So let me know where you're watching from inside the comment box, and eager to be here tonight. Man, I think that, you get to this point in time, and, I've done this a long time, and it's always exciting to start the first practice of fall camp. And I think it goes for everybody across the nation who is starting football camp today, because you're undefeated, right? But I think particularly with this team and what Alabama football fans, went through last year, there's so much excitement and so much optimism going into year two under Coach Kalen DeBoer. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we're excited and it's a celebration. And here, Alabama football, we celebrate life. We celebrate the Crimson Tide. And, here to do just that tonight. So, yeah, in case you missed it, and it's been out there today, I think it was Brett Greenberg who originally, broke the news. But Tank Jones will be announcing tomorrow, which is the 31st, on the Pat McAfee show. Does anybody know what time? Look, I love Pat McAfee. I think he does a really good job for the game. But what time is the show at? And put it in Central Time. Because I don't know what the time was. But good evening to everybody. I appreciate it. Let's see who's checked in real quick in our early 7 p.m. slot. We got Lil Ye. What's up? Good to see you. Young C Gaming. Good to see you. Josh Johnson. Mike from Austin is here. Bruce Watson. What's up? Miss Kimberly is up in the house. Daniel, as always. Lee G. What's up? Pamela Davis, yes, I think you're referring to Tank, right? Yeah, Tank tomorrow. He's announcing tomorrow. Said, what's up to you? Blissful Love, what's up? Good evening to you. Roll Tide Prowls, what's up, man? Did Jalen Mbakwe play both ways? I don't think so. And I think Coach Kalen DeBoer spoke a little bit about that today. I don't think there's going to be a lot of players that are cross-training at this particular spot. Hey, Jackie White, man, we need to get out on the link sometime, man, one day soon. Jackie White's been here for a long time. I'm telling you, he's like one of the OGs. But good to see him inside the comment box. I appreciate you being here. Nick Smith, what's up, man? He's saying he's going to Oregon. Oregon, Alabama, Texas A&M, right? Mindy, Miss Careless, what's up? Larry Large, good to see you. Really good crew in. Brennan, what's up? Eddie K's up in the house. Tide is rising. Larry Doherty, what's up, man? Yeah. All right. Yeah, good crew. All right, so I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Let me run through a couple photos that were released, and then I'll play some Coach Kalen. Get comfy, because we're going to hang out tonight. All right. So this first particular slide, I'll go full screen, and then I'll come back, and I'll point some things out, things you might not have seen, or I'll slow down, and we could talk about some things, slow up the film and stuff like that. And if you have a question, always just post it inside the comment box, and I'll get with you guys. All right, up to the left, you got Keelan Russell. You got to the right, you got Bubba Hampton. Bubba Hampton has a brace on, right? He dealt with the injury during the springtime. And there at the bottom left, you have Caden Jones, the inside linebacker, and then, of course, Ty Simpson on the bottom right? As we look at more photos that were released by the University of Alabama, up to the top left, you got Ivan Taylor. You got Lazier Brooks. You have Xavier Brown down here. Remember, the players at practice where the white shirts are on defense and the crimson is the offense, right? And then you have Jamarian Lathan down here, who is a member of that Wolf position, which is ultra talented, right? So the big thing is clearly Tank Jones. And before I get to that and start talking about this and previewing Tank Jones, we got a hell of a raffle, all right? This is the big ticket item of this week. We'll roll it into next week. But it's game tickets for Alabama versus Wisconsin. This is literally the game view. This is from SeatGeek. So I have two tickets. The value price for these two tickets are $543. To get into the raffle is $25. All right, you can get in as many times as you want. Section E, row 61. Saturday, September 13th. I get the tickets before the game. I'll electronically send them to you. So yeah, definitely get in. You know what? There hasn't been an overwhelming amount of people that has gotten in yet, so your chances are very high. And we do big ticket items. So if you want to see the Tide against Wisconsin, now is a really good time to jump into that raffle. And again, here at the bottom of the screen, it says Bama_YouTube on Venmo, Cash App, Bama YouTube, and of course a super chat will work as well. So if you want to get into that raffle, we will, we have plenty of spots. So Alabama versus Wisconsin, September 13th, 11 a.m. kickoff. You want to see the Tide? There's an opportunity to get some really good tickets, 2 tickets right there for a raffle at $25. All right, let's get into Tank Jones. But by the way, did we find out what time this is tomorrow? Look, I like Pat McAfee. I do. I don't know, like, all the other stuff. Tonette, I'll think about that. What's up, by the way? King's Family React, good to see you. I love Pat McAfee. I don't know, like, all the other stuff behind whatever everybody says. But in terms of, like, somebody that, is entertaining, clearly he's that guy, right? I mean, I think Pat McAfee that covers college football, because he has a YouTube show, I think he's like, has the most followers. And then there's Josh Pate, right? And pretty soon Josh Pate, will probably have more subscribers than anybody because of the job that he does. But he's getting the announcement tomorrow with Tank Jones. So do we have a time? Beth James is saying she thinks it's at 11:30. Can we confirm that time? All right, we'll chase it down. I don't know if that's true, but we'll get a couple people on it, all right? Anyways, look, I think as we've gone forward, we've seen that these 3 teams have been in the race. Now, just recently, a reporter that works for AL.com went down to Mobile and interviewed him during media days. And, was asking him about his commitment. He said sometime before the football season. Well, we're before the football season now. And this guy has a hell of a decision to make. So if you don't know who he is, Tank Jones is honestly, like someone said inside the comment box, he's a crown jewel of any class, whether he goes to Oregon, Texas A&M, or Bama. Plays on the defensive side of the ball. I think he would be absolutely stellar land. He's an in-state guy. He was the first guy that Coach Kalen DeBoer went to see. I don't know, and it doesn't seem the raffle will be next week. We'll build up the raffle. I mean, so yeah, plenty of time to get into the raffle. But I haven't seen any predictions. Has there been any predictions out there? Because usually I look to the big dogs, like people who are really in the know, kind of those tenured people like Steve Wiltfong, Andrew Bone, the great Tim Watts, those guys who are like, millionaires that are in the know. So, but I haven't seen like I haven't seen like anyone from like Oregon make a commitment. So I don't know. And look, I think a lot of people have been bullish on Alabama, but I have no idea. I mean, usually one of these guys goes out there and says, it's going to be, this school like a couple days before. There hasn't been anything on Tank, I don't think. All right, Josh Johnson comes in here and he says that Tank is set to announce around 1:30 Eastern time. Now, okay, we have 12:30. We had 11:30. Now that's 12:30, and then we have 1:30 Eastern time. So we'll get the official time and we'll have a celebration tomorrow. We'll celebrate it no matter, good, bad, or whatever. And look, Alabama has a stellar class. Is this a make or break guy? I mean, look, it's going to suck if they don't get him. 100%. Like, I'm not going to come on here and be one of those guys and be like, oh, Alabama didn't want him. At the end of the day, Alabama decided that he wasn't a good fit for the No, that would be complete. You guys mind if I say some swear words a couple times? This is the late night show. I've had a tough day. All right. If I swear a couple times, don't hold it against me. If we hang out, I'm not much of a sailor, but it's just that I'm expressive. If you hang out with me, I promise you love me. And I love you too, because I'm a people person. I'm for the people, all right? But I'm not going to say like, oh man, like it wouldn't be, it's not a big deal. No, it would be a big deal, 100%. So we'll see what happens. And I want to ask you guys inside the comment box, because I honestly have no idea. Sometimes I'll just be like, yeah, I kind of have a feeling, or somebody told me, or I saw something out on the internet. I have no idea. What are you guys feeling right now? It sounds like a lot of people are talking Oregon. I put a poll inside the comment box. I don't even know how many people. 111 people have voted. It says people feeling Alabama. So go ahead inside the comment box and post Alabama, Oregon, Texas A&M. Where do you think he's going? I want to hear from you. Just type it out. Even if you don't vote, just type it out. I want to just see it with my own eyeballs. And look, just because these guys commit doesn't mean that it's over. Because, man, you got to still recruit these guys. And you know what? One thing that'll piss off a top-level recruit is losing. As soon as you stop winning games during the season, as soon as you lose to somebody, man, your momentum starts to go down, and these kids haven't signed anything. All right, so let's see. Someone said Kyle for president. Daniel Adams is saying Oregon 100%. Larry Large is saying Oregon getting the best in state for years cannot happen. Lance is saying that he's going to get homesick if he goes anywhere else and he'll come back to Alabama. Roll Tide Prods is saying Oregon or Bama. It kind of seems like Texas. Is it fair to say that Texas A&M is kind of out of the equation? I saw someone on X or Twitter, whatever the hell you call it. They said North Carolina. Surprise. Mike is saying Oregon 150%. All right. If he does commit to Oregon, Alabama will still push for him 100%. What's up, Marcus? Good to see you, bro. Jackie White is still saying Bama. Steven, what's up, man? Good to see you inside the comment box. Is saying Oregon. From saying somewhere. All right, let's see. Yeah, it seems kind of a toss-up, but the poll in our, maybe that's just because, it's the Alabama fans. I don't know. You know what, Wade's World, dude, Sedarian Morgan is an absolute monster. So, you could sleep on easy about that, right? And this is also true. Byron, what's up, dog? Good to see you, man. Isn't the McAfee show on ESPN, right? I think it's on YouTube and ESPN. I don't know. So, sometime between, I'll put the official time tomorrow. I'll schedule out a show for it. So sometime tomorrow, well, I know Chris is like, just tell us the damn time. I know with Chris, I asked, dog, and I was like, what time is it? And someone said 11:30. Then someone said 1:30 Eastern time, which would mean 12:30. So I think between 11:30 and 1:30. But by the time you guys wake up tomorrow, I have a show scheduled for that exact time. And, bells and whistles and parades, and we'll have kazoos and all that stuff. GSP Scott throwing it in there and saying he's going to commit to Oregon, but I don't believe he ever goes there. Don't nobody want to move to Eugene to play football when they're in SEC country. You know what? Look, this is actually an interesting point right here. GSP, what's up, dog? Good to see you, man. Has anybody been to Eugene? Seriously. All right. Okay. I was just in Mobile recently. All right. And I've been to Eugene. In my previous line of work, I've had like this crazy Forrest Gump life. I have lived all sorts of places. I've done all sorts of things. I've been a little stagnant for the last couple years. I have to tell you, things have been a little bit rough the last couple years, but that's okay, because I can reflect on, a lot of the great things that happened for me, previous to this. And it's okay, because life is like waves, right up and down, right? But I've been to Eugene, and I went up to Oregon, and I did like Portland. Portland was nice, but I didn't like Eugene. It wasn't for me, and it couldn't be more further from anything remotely related to Mobile, Alabama. Like going from like Mobile to Eugene, damn, you might as well go from like San Francisco to like, I don't know, somewhere in Russia. They're completely different places. So I get it. All the football and, who knows, man. If you're getting paid, what is he going to get paid? Like $5 million if he goes there? I have no idea. Maybe that cures all. But I'll tell you this, man. Money does not. You could have all the money in the world. It makes life easier. but it doesn't make your life better. It's the weirdest thing. You can only experience it unless you've had it or you don't have it. So, man, Lee G brings up this. Yeah, switching the uniforms would be tight. I know that would be nice. I like just that Alabama just has one jersey, but I like to mess around with those jerseys for sure. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll post it tomorrow. Tonez says Pat McAfee show 11 a.m. Central Time. Jackie White in there. So it looks like we're getting closer. But Hunter threw a little wrench in there and he says 11:45 on Instagram. Oh man, tomorrow's gonna be busy, it sounds like. All right, okay, so that's what we got on Tank Jones, which is basically who the hell knows. But it seems like kind of A&M's fading. All right, so go to bed and being like Bama still has a shot. Seems like Oregon's doing whatever Oregon does, and it seems like A&M is kind of fading. But at the end of the day, I think it's we list this under like who the hell knows. So I'm voting inside the box, and I'm saying not sure. All right. All right. Our friends at Sonic have been a wonderful summer sponsor, bro. So, special thanks to these guys out in West Memphis, Arkansas, Marion, Arkansas. I literally have one sponsor. It's not even from Alabama. It's from Arkansas. So thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. If you guys are out there and you run a small business, if you're interested to rock with the show, hit me up. nmprubs@gmail.com is my email. And also, if you have anything else throughout the season, you could always just hit me up. I get back to you guys pretty fast. I felt like one of the biggest storylines going into fall camp was around Deontay Lawson. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of Coach Kalen DeBoer, all right, from today. We'll stop it. We'll pause it. But he starts out talking about Deontay Lawson and Jalen Hell. So let me get that full screen, and we'll go over Coach Kalen DeBoer. And by the way, I have Coach Kalen DeBoer, his press conference coming up later tonight if you want to sit back and watch it. So it's not this zoomed in the entire time, but this is from the University of Alabama. It'll zoom out in like 2 seconds. So here's Coach Kalen DeBoer. We'll play his press conference for a little while, not too long, just a couple minutes, and then I'll pause it, stop it, come right back in. Here's Coach Kalen DeBoer. Again, it's not this is hella tight. They'll zoom out in 1 second. Is that not it? Damn, that wasn't it. All right, let me try to find it. All right, 1 second. Give me 1 second. Oh, I know where it happened. Bama football on YouTube. All right, got you guys. My bad. So I do all the editing and stuff like that myself. So I think this is it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Just finished one, right? And there should be all the energy, at a high level. And we had that. And the question is always going to be for the guys, as I just addressed them, is can they sustain it? That's what it was in January when they brought the intensity. And early on, you could tell these guys were determined. And, that's been the challenge to them. The question I keep asking them and ask them again, and it's the season. It's a practice. It's a play. It's sustaining the intensity at the level from start to finish. But good day and open for questions.
How Deontay look getting back on the field and playing with that brace? But how do you look?
Yeah. He's his trajectory is going up. Deontay, his leadership is the thing I think that's really come out. So that's exciting. He is going to be limited, and just the number of reps, the volume, I guess the best way to put it, and what he can take as expected. And that was going to be the plan, just with his timeline from the beginning. But it's great having him out there. I think he feels really good about being out there, mentally and physically. I think he's in a really good spot. But there's still progress to be made as we build for the first game.
That was Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about Deontay Lawson. And, the first thing that stood out to me when we played the footage, right, and I think I have it somewhere over here. Let me see if I can scrub to that, is he didn't seem 100% at all. And that was one of the things that I was like curious to see. It was like, all right, I want to see Deontay Lawson. How does he look? How is he moving now that he has, a brace on? He's coming back from ACL. And then as soon as I saw him, you can't really see it this much in this particular clip. Maybe you can, but like you'll see just from this particular movement, it doesn't look like that 100% fluid, right? I mean, that there was some other like footage that was out there. That's Justin Jefferson, number 10. I'll come back with more footage, but we continue with Coach Kalen DeBoer. In fact, I'll probably just play some highlights as he talks.
Yeah, just Jalen Hale and, where he was at a year ago with the injury actually in the spring in 2024. Just, pretty significant injury at the time. And, between he and then our medical staff just doing an awesome job of pushing forward. Our whole team is proud of him, not just me. We've talked about that. In the winter, during December, I remember addressing it with the team, guys being excited about having him out there finally doing something with the team. And then, the spring was the next step and through the summer and him out there. But, there's reps that he hasn't taken, banked reps that other guys have. And so, he's still learning as we go. And, every rep he's going to get more and more confident, but he's certainly got a lot of tools and, want to see his growth. Excited about that this fall.
Yeah. By the way, like it's a funny thing. It's like a known thing. Like if I have like an error, like a typo, or like I mess up like that, it's called the incompletion. So you could just say incompletion. I try to be perfect on every single show. I'll be like a quarterback, like 19 for like 23. Usually I'm like up at the top, but I mean, I'm human. So as long as I don't throw like an interception, I don't know what an interception is, like the show crashes or something like that. But yeah, I like that on, Jalen Hale. Another storyline that we're looking forward to is like, where is he at? And how is he going to fit into the wide receiver room when he's healthy? Because, everybody knows the big three, but like who after? Like, is it Rico Scott? Is it Jalen Hale? We continue with Coach Kalen DeBoer. The reporter says, is there a group that surprised you?
It's hard because we're literally in spider pads and helmets, and so from a physicality standpoint, things like that, there's limitations on what you can see and do. But I think as expected, I think our defensive backfield is, but that's expected. And so, I thought it was just good back and forth as it should. I feel like we got for the most part, a balanced team. And so it didn't feel like one position completely dominated another or one was, getting dominated. So I thought it was a good balance across the board as a team.
One thing that stood out to me in terms of like the unit groups and I mean, coaches out there, but damn, the wolf position, like Quay Rusa, like he was my MVP. So I had two MVPs. One on offense was Marshall Pritchett at tight end, number 18. He's phenomenal, right? He's put on some good weight. I saw him making some good plays like that because I feel like the tight ends have to make a jump. And from what I saw today, that was promising. But yeah, it's probably hard for Coach Kalen DeBoer to say because they're in spider pads, they're not popping. But man, when I saw Quay Rusa moving around, when I saw the, Justin Hill, Noah Carter, Yonze Pierre, John Latham, I mean, man, that room is just top of the line. And then, of course, the secondary. We continue.
Can you break down each of the quarterbacks and what you saw out there?
Break down each of the three quarterbacks and what he saw out there from the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think they've all taken steps through the summer, and you can see they are definitely more comfortable with the install. A lot of it's the reps they get with the play concepts they have, but the footwork and just the confidence with that. And, some of the new things that we've added in. So Ty and Austin, those things are still new this spring. And, they've now become very comfortable with, and it's subtle stuff, but probably Keelan's going to be the one that, you're going to see the biggest jump naturally. And, I feel like that was good. I mean, he's making quick decisions and not sitting there thinking too much. But I felt all of them did. I think Ty, we've talked about all the quarterbacks, but just the gimme, the ones that are just should be 100% making those plays all the time. And I really felt like he did that. He got probably more opportunities just because of the way the plays developed to have more of those gimmies, and those gimmies add up. Gimmies are 5-yard gains that turn into 15 and 20 and sometimes explosives, and they keep the chains moving. So I like the mindset of our quarterbacks, because when you can trust your quarterback to go through his progression and be okay with checking it down and not forcing something, you can call, as a play caller, a lot more balls down the field and know that it's not just going to be an incomplete pass or an explosive play. There's going to be a progression, and it's going to be some type of movement down the field. It's going to put you in manageable down and distances, whether it's second, third, or fourth.
Kind of a long-winded answer when asked about the quarterbacks, but I think the biggest takeaway that I heard from Coach Kalen DeBoer was the fact that Keelan Russell is going to make the biggest jump. And to me, what that means is, man, the guy just got here. The guys have already, so the guys are already like always improving, right? But for Keelan, he just got here this year, so you're going to see the biggest jump from him because he's early in his development. I look, I don't know, like, I want to start a war here. But who do you think quarterback number 2 is right now? If quarterback number 1 is Ty Simpson, who do you think number two is? You don't have to be scared about it to say it. Like, I think competition is healthy. Now, it's been one day. We saw 5 clips of them throwing, but do you get a sense of who's number 2? I don't know. I'd be curious to hear from you inside the comment box. Here's Coach Kalen DeBoer.
Do you change the way you approach rep distribution with the quarterbacks, knowing it's a different timeline than it was in the spring?
Rep distributions with the quarterbacks from the spring now to the summer.
Start out pretty consistent with probably how we finished the spring. And again, Keelan's reps continue to build up from what it was in spring, where he was primarily with, the 3s and 4s. But here early on, you're just installing, and you're trying to give each quarterback, along with each other position and player, the reps of the install. And then, once you get past that first kind of round of installs, then you really start kind of probably dialing it in at that time. But we'll play it by ear as we go, because, if someone separates themselves, 1, 2 guys, then you do make adjustments along the way.
Is all the experience that you've got coming back on defense?
All right, so just to wrap that up, I mean, look, it's the first day. People are so eager to just, see the quarterback, like have like a quarterback like finality answer like right away. I mean, in terms of even like snaps, the guys have practiced like one time. Let's just like see how these guys continue to develop overall. Here's Coach Kalen DeBoer on defense, I think. Let's see.
I realize it's just one practice, but does it show up pretty quick?
Yeah.
He's saying the familiarity of like all the defensive returners, if he can see that and that translates to a practice in terms of like the defense being ready to go, since there's so much familiarity coming back.
There is definitely the veterans and then the younger guys, and the veterans, it starts with communication and the confidence with that communication, and guys in sync, right? Knowing the space that they got to cover between 2 guys in the secondary or the back half. And you can just see the gelling of that. And they're really, I can't really think of anything where it felt like there was a missed assignment, or something that was blown, really all day. And our offense does a lot of stuff to put a lot of pressure on you to communicate, to have to see motions and shifting and things like that. So, from where we were at a year ago or even end of the season, you can see the banked reps that we've taken adding up. And then, the physical piece will continue to happen as we put on the pads and add that part to it.
100%. I mean, right there, the biggest takeaway from like talking about the defense. Remember the defense. This might be that was a hell of a soundbite. Okay, if you really dive into that, he just told you a lot there. The defense is compared to last year. Think about the defense last year at this point in time to where the defense is today. I'm serious. Think about and let me just ask you. Which defense did you have more confidence in, 2025 or 2020 or 2024 or 2025? This defense, 1,000,000%. And there's 13 guys that are back that I'm like, yeah, these guys are the guys. And even the 2 deep on the defense, I'm confident about. So, yeah, these guys are in so much of a better place defensively, specifically in the secondary, but all the way through. Damn, that, yeah, 100%. All right, we continue.
Year two, no transfers. Did it feel like today, all right, we've got some continuity compared to what you saw last year?
This was
Continuity in terms of no transfers and transfer portal. You did bring in they brought in several tight ends or 2 tight ends or something like that, but nobody left. So was there familiarity during practice number 1?
first part.
No transfers, just getting guys back in your system, a little bit more familiarity. Did you kind of feel that continuity today, even day one?
Yeah, I mean, it's just even the logistics of how you practice and, the transitions and where guys go, the flow is just, on another level. And, it's even going to be much better than it was at the end of the fall because you still had the spring. And so, just locations on the field and who you're going to and those drills. And, now it isn't just those drills you're learning. You're learning the details and, the details and how they apply to the play. And, you're not just doing that drill on its own and it's isolated. It's how it's going to affect you when you're in this situation, maybe 5-10 times throughout the season, but you can apply it because we've shown it and now they remember and they've processed it and now they can go operate and execute.
Yeah, and I just asked you inside the comment box. I know this is the first, press conference that he gave, so I like to slow it down, stop it, and give some feedback in terms of what he say. But I just, from the viewer perspective, do you like this format? Do you not like it? So, I'm always trying different things. I don't know if there's a lot of other channels that do this, kind of side by side stop. I try to, really add a bunch of value to every single one of my shows. So just, the feedback. By the way, if you're watching, the big raffle is game tickets to Alabama versus Wisconsin. It's a ticket value of $543 for 2 tickets. Section E, row 61. Absolutely insane view. That's the view behind for Alabama versus Wisconsin. Kickoff at 11 a.m. I'll give you the tickets the day before when I get them. So this is the second time that we've done tickets, $25 to get in. And there's not a lot of people that have jumped in yet. So now is a perfect time. At least kind of throw your hat in, for game tickets. So bottom of the screen, Bama_YouTube on Venmo, Cash App, Bama YouTube. Okay, yeah, good feedback. All right, from the crew. All right, because I want to do, this is your show. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want to do what makes sense for us. And I don't know. We'll see how it is because I still got to play the national championship against Oklahoma. All right, I was already prepping about that game today. I don't think I'm going to do it tonight because it's already 7:30, but, we'll see where we're at. All right, Coach Kalen DeBoer, we continue.
Where's the tight ends room at, health-wise?
It will continue to get better and better. It's in a good spot. This was going to be how it was when the injuries happened. Cuevas is going to continue.
Oh, he's talking about the tight end health. Because remember, during the springtime, every tight end was hurt, which I forgot about. But the tight ends are back, including, Samarco and another tight end that they brought. And like I said today, Marshall Pritchett, he was hurt. He's back. He looked great. He's number 18 when you see all the footage out there. Josh Cuevas is back. Jay Lindsey's back. So tight ends are healthy. Here's Coach saying what he was talking about with the tight ends.
To add volume. I think that's the best word to use because he's practicing. Danny Lewis, the same thing. They're adding volume. The number of reps from start to finish. It's not just team. It's not just individual. But they've had a really good summer, and their progress is as we had hoped, as we expected. And the rest of the guys, Marshall, I know didn't practice at the end of the spring with what he had. A couple other guys too. They're all full go. We got more tight ends out there now all of a sudden than we could have ever imagined. But they all competing and working together, doing a good job.
Hell yeah. I'm going to show you after this kind of the graphics of the tight ends. We got 8 tight ends. I forgot Danny Lewis was even hurt. We had to add him, remember, to the graphic. So, yeah, you got hella tight ends out there. And somebody asked, because I said, sometimes I say, hella, if I'm from Northern Cali. I spent a little bit of time in California. Mom used to work out in Sacramento. Had a family relative that played for the Giants baseball team, but no, not from Northern Cali.
Travis Hunter was a big story last year, of course, being a full-time two-way player. I was wondering if you had ever had or do you have players that, not full-time, but spot duty on the other side for emergencies or something, or too many disadvantages?
Yeah, no.
Basically, what that was Kirk, who works for 24/7, right? He was asking about cross training players. What that means is two-way players, and I think what he was trying to ask was like, is Jalen Mbakwe going to play two ways? Right, because I think that's the biggest question, and one of the questions that I see on here frequently is like, is Jalen Mbakwe going to play offense and defense? So here's Coach Kalen DeBoer basically shutting that down.
I mean, when you have someone that can really fit into a goal line package and be the extra tight end and maybe take a defensive end or a defensive lineman and add him, to a personnel grouping, we'll certainly be open to that. Or if there's, a specific guy that has just a skill that we don't have. But I think for the most part, each side of the ball has what they need. If they wanted to do something special, we have that on that side of the ball. And there isn't someone that is so much better going both ways like that situation to where we feel the need to do that at this point.
I'll tell you exactly what he says. I won't sugarcoat it. Alabama has enough players at every single position. This ain't Colorado, okay? And look, Travis Hunter is an absolute dog. I mean, that guy is, once in a generational type player. But this is Alabama. You don't need somebody. You're not like, oh, damn, we don't have a good corner. We don't have a good wide receiver. We need somebody that can play both ways. No. Like, these are all guys going to the NFL. Like, so for a player to be able to cross-train, like here, that player's got to be like a Travis Hunter type. So, there's been – who was the last player to, even play both ways here? Like, what was it, Trayvon Diggs? And he started out wide receiver and then went to corner because Coach Saban told him to. By the way, Saban made him millions of dollars. But I don't think you're ever going to see a player over here, play both ways. I don't think so. All right, here's Coach again.
How big of a luxury is it when you look at the quarterback competition going up against a defense that's got so much experience?
Quarterback competition and kind of the added value because they're going up against a really good defense that has experience.
Yeah, a lot of the competition right now is a lot of pressure on them. There's pressure to play in games and the quarterback pressure that exists, going through the season. But really, the pressure that they have to compete and win the spot is something that's preparing them for those times in the games. And so going against a defense like ours, and our defense does a really good job. I think they're getting better and better at disguising things. Which means you don't know where things might always come from. And then, guys just that are playmakers out there too. They can cover a lot of ground, and they're not just giving you those gimmies, those blown coverages. You're having to make plays, and so quarterbacks did a good job of, I think, taking calculated risks at the right time. They didn't put our offense in jeopardy really, throughout practice. And they're being challenged by obviously a group on the other side of the ball that we've got a lot of confidence in right now.
Coach, speaking about competition, can you talk about the running back position and how it's looking behind Jam Miller?
Mm-hmm.
Just the different body types and the different backs back there. Can you talk about that?
Sure.
Talking about the running backs behind Jam Miller. I saw some footage briefly of the running backs today. You had Jam, then you had Richard Young. But I think this is a fair question, is like, because we've been asking about that too, is like, who's the third running back? Who's the fourth running back on this team? And how are they going to utilize those running backs? It seems to me like Daniel Hill right now, at least after day one, is running back number 3. But let's see what Coach DeBoer has to say.
Sure. Yeah, you got Rich and you got Rich Young, Daniel Hill coming back also. Feel like those guys are healthier than they probably ever were last season throughout the year. And then Dre Washington, I thought he had a really nice practice today. You can see, again, a new guy that's come in, and now you're seeing the install a second, third time from spring, summer to fall. And how, just like we were talking about the quarterback position, how it's clicking more, and so he's got himself right in the mix there for sure. As we kind of narrow down, and there's skill sets, there's different things that each guy brings. Body types are a little bit different, but in the end, it's not like someone is so much different to where it affects who's in there. We're just teaching them all the offense, and especially when we get into the padded and the physicality and the tackling pieces, that's a big part of it, is breaking tackles and being able to get in there and protect for the quarterback. And and do a great job of it. So, really, they're all competing, but really that's probably where it's at with those guys, and they're all doing a good job.
Saw Gino get first team reps at left guard today. I mean, where do you see that kind of position?
Gino.
Gino Vandermark getting first team reps today at left guard. There's a guard battle right now between Gino Vandermark and Cam Dewberry. Here's Coach DeBoer talking about Gino Vandermark, who's a redshirt senior who was seen starting today on the offensive line.
And Cam, yeah, both of them doing a great job all summer. Super competitive. Gino, in year 2 now with us, so comfortable in the offense. And Cam has just he's had a lot of urgency to really put himself physically and mentally in a spot where he's competing for that position. And they probably do have different tools that are their strengths. I think they're both really good, well-rounded football players. But both of them can do a few things a little better than the other. So, it's just a matter of the best 5 guys, and how they fit into that.
Coach, speaking from a special team standpoint, can you just talk about anybody who stepped up since, you just lost a great one to James Burnham, but can you just talk about the people that's still in the room, people that's come behind him, what you've seen so far from spring to summer to now?
This is one of the biggest questions. The reporter's asking about special teams because you lost your kicker, your punter, and your long snapper. It sounds like we have a battle for punter and for kicker, and I'll give you my thoughts after Coach Kalen DeBoer.
Sure. Specialists as a whole, we had a lot of special teams guys, and I know not what your question is, that freshmen that played a lot of reps, on the units, and the specialists though, all graduating on, obviously got some holes there, and I felt good about what you see with the long snapper position and the replacement there. And then, I think Talty's done a really nice job. I'm proud of him on how he's really from last year, taken on the role and dove into it, did a nice job on kickoffs. And I think that experience and just his growth showed, again, consistency through the spring. And then, it was evident today, I thought he was solid in the different times we had him out there doing his thing. And the punter position is probably the one that is the most open, where, you got a couple guys, Alex and Blake that, both coming into the program that, Blake in particular had some reps this spring, but still, growing and getting stronger and those 2 guys competing. Alex is now physically in a better spot too, and his progress is, I guess, better than expected. And from a physical standpoint, just being able to go out there and do it. And so I'm excited about the competition that those 2 will bring, because I know that the ceiling for them, they got pretty high ceilings, and so I'm expecting some big things from them.
Speaking of special teams, who are you working with for Holder?
A lot of times it's within that unit, so you're going to have your punters a lot of time, and I thought Blake did a nice job today. Anderson does a nice job too, and so a lot of times, because they're together so much, as long as they can do it, that's just that familiarity and that consistency with all the reps they take each and every day. That's the starting point for us. But I always like to, at some point, get a quarterback involved or some skill guy. Puts a little pressure on the other team when you got that ability there too, to have a playmaker, holding the football. But, we'll see as we go through the fall.
All right, that was Coach Kalen DeBoer today. So pretty good press conference. I liked it. That was 15 minutes long. So I did this earlier. I'll kind of run through a couple different things that stood out to me today. If you caught my 2 p.m. show, you might have saw a couple of these things. I wanted to go to the quarterbacks real quick because, I think you can see just a little bit from the standpoint of what we're working with at the quarterback position, even though we already know. But, Ty Simpson right there hooking up with Ryan Williams. This is Keelan Russell throwing a ball to Isaiah Horton. And, look, we have no idea. We know that all the quarterbacks at practice, they take reps basically at the same time. But what I'm looking at is, how are these guys? That was Jalen Mbakwe who caught a pass, by the way. Look at that ball. And I get it. It's against absolutely no one. But I'm still thinking that these are very catchable balls. That was Josh Cuevas, number 80. Another very good ball, right? That was to Caleb Edwards, I believe. Here's Ty Simpson. Because I know inside the comment box, we're going to be like, well, anybody could do that. I could probably throw a spiral like that too. But still, it is like you want to see that. And, you know, one of the things that I am curious about, let me pause this real quick. One of the things that I don't know this, okay? I really don't. But what is the arm strength for Ty Simpson? What is the arm strength for Keelan Russell and Austin Mack? Like, who has the strongest arm? And I'm talking like a 15 to 20 yard, you know, absolute laser that has to get there. Like, does Ty Simpson, like, and look, I'm just asking. I'm curious. Does one of these quarterbacks have like an absolute laser on him? I don't know. Maybe because I'll tell you what, man, like I was watching, when I was watching Tua Tagovailoa, my goodness, the velocity that he had on his passes was crazy. Used to hear the ball like whip. It was the weirdest thing I ever seen. The tight ends, this is our boy Pritchett, who was one of my MVPs today, by the way. Him and Quay Rusa. Big 81, that's Caleb Edwards, right? 264 pounds. You know what, Dirty South, you say Ty did look a little bit more muscly, you know, in the question. But I think that is a valid question. Yeah, thanks, Beth. It's like, you know, because sometimes on your out routes, that's something that has to be like absolutely there across the middle. You don't want something to be kind of hanging around. That'll be picked, especially in the SEC. So I like the comments about the tight ends. I'm going to show you, before I dip out later on, graphic cards of like all the positions and kind of point out what we saw. There was the inside linebackers. That's Justin Jefferson, Deontay Lawson right there. This is Quentin Reese, number 36, and Caden Jones, two guys who are starting to become veterans. And then you got Nikhai Hill-Green right here and Daryl Duke Johnson, number 15 to the right. Remember, you had Nikhai Hill-Green come over from Colorado. This is the Wolf position. This video doesn't do this room justice. I think Touchdown Alabama has a video of Quay, and it's crazy. He looks like one of the best players in the entire country. Okay, this guy's a freshman. Okay, this is Justin Hill. All right, like this. You know what I'm saying? This whole room is outstanding. The athleticism here is really mind-boggling. Number 2, this is Xavier Brown working on Mo Lindquist. This is Dejon Lee. Look at this guy. This is another freshman. Wild, right? That's why you don't need players to cross-train here at Bama. I'm sorry, but this isn't Colorado. This isn't Memphis. Like, no, this is Alabama. You have enough players at every single position to be able to do your thing, and you can specialize in a position because the talent is so rich here, period. All right? Getting those arms out, that's Damani Jackson, right? Hey, Damani, sub out because we got a wide receiver that needs some reps over here. No, get the hell out of here. This is just it. Like, these are the guys. More Damani. I think Damani might be one of the faster players on the team too, right? Look at Drake Kirkpatrick, man. He's growing up between our eyes. It's crazy. Every time Drake Kirkpatrick gets older, we get older, right? Man, he's 21 right there. Pretty soon he'll be 21. We'll be 45. This is him. Look, Ryan. This is sad. We're having some of our young guys that are growing up, right? Man, Drake Kirkpatrick looks pretty good. Shoot. Here's Ryan Williams. Look at this. Technical. Comes back. Smooth. Cover the ball, son. Yep, that's exactly what he does. I mentioned this. Jerry Bernard looks absolutely jacked. Crazy, right? This dude is in the weight room. This dude is built. Ooh, I saw something. I saw the running back room. Look, here's the running back room back here. So you have A.K. Deer to the right. That's Jam Miller. Then number 9 back here, that is Richard Young. Number 20 is Draylon Washington. I believe Daniel Hill's back there somewhere. I don't know. Just I see things, I point them out. All right. Here's Jerry Bernard. Clean. The wide receiver. Look at that. Do you see Lil Lazier Brooks? Pfft, good luck guarding him. And I did see Cole Adams today. I did see. Oh, here's big Austin Mack. Nice ball to the outside. That was to Rico Scott. More Austin Mack. Back to pass. Gets the ball out. That looked like a laser to Derek Meadows. This is good camera work too. This footage is by the University of Alabama. I mean, they have like the right cameras and stuff. This isn't with somebody's phone. That's why I always like this footage. This footage is like, because they're allowed to be on the field. Here's a quarterback room. 1, 2, 3. Get it out. There's Ryan Grubb over there in the light colored. He's got like the light sweatshirt on. Looks like he was kind of pissed right there. All right, let me show you some graphic cards to kind of go over a couple other things that stood out real fast. I appreciate you guys kicking it with me today. It's been a great day. I hope you guys have enjoyed the coverage. You know, all the graphics and all the detailed work, you know, put a lot into it. So, you know, I try to get you guys a good show every single time, you know, that we're here. So appreciate you guys kicking it with me today. Let me zoom out. And again, I do literally all this stuff like on the fly. Sometimes it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I've done it enough times to where I feel comfortable moving quickly. My MVPs of the day, I got Marshall Pritchett, who's a tight end, 6'5", 248 pounds, freshman tight end, and then you got Quay Rusaw, who's a wolf position player, 6'2", 243 pounds. I mean, the guy on the right is just phenomenal. I think, you know, he if he plays like that, he's absolutely, you know, top-end pick. And Steve, yeah, I got your message regarding the raffle, but those are the tickets that I have, so I can't like change out the tickets and make them like handicap. I don't even know like how to do that, but I'll think about some options going forward. But I even think about that. But good point out. So, and the raffle, for everybody that's asking about the raffle, or if there anyone, we got Alabama versus Wisconsin, 2 tickets. The face value is $543 for 2 tickets for this game. This is the View. Saturday, September 13th, 11 a.m. kickoff. So if you want to get in the raffle, Bama_YouTube on Venmo, Cash App, Bama YouTube, and I'll think of a Zelly option as well. Quarterbacks, we heard about the quarterbacks. You know, you heard what I heard. Saw the quarterbacks. All of them look good. It's going to be something that we continue to track. Nick Kelly of AL.com said to the average eye, Simpson seems to have the best mechanics. I don't know. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? This is a quote from Coach Kalen DeBoer. We talked about that. That was a Coach Kalen DeBoer quote on the running back rooms. Here's the running back rooms from top to bottom. I mean, just an absolutely loaded room. I'm actually going to run with hopefully for 1,000 yards with Jam Miller on the video game. And I think like Richard Young has like 700 yards too. You know, you play so many damn games this season, you're going to be able to run some balls. I'm telling you, it's like, man, 1,700 yards rushing. So I probably have a 2,000-yard rushing season. It's been crazy. This is Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about the left guard. We talked about that. Here's a look at the starting offensive line today. Caden Proctor, Geno Vandermark, Parker Brailsford, Jaden Roberts, Wilkin Formby. Can anybody see? Oh, there's an incompletion on this. Can anybody see the incompletion? I'll give you guys 2 seconds to look for it. Put me down for another incompletion. Damn. Can you guys see it? Am I clear to you? There's an incompletion. Ten seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Adam, what's up, dog? Good to see you, bro. 4, 3, 2. Anyone get it? There's an incompletion here. Yep, Park, you got it. It should be Parker Brailsford, not Park Brailsford. Ashton, what's up, dog? Coming to us from H-Town, dog. I love me some Huntsville. You know, I like Huntsville because one of the restaurants when I first went there, I went to Jack Brown's. Anybody been to Jack Brown's? Oh, my goodness. Vandermark. No, I think Geno Vandermark. I think we're good. Vandermark. Is it Vandermark? All right, maybe 2 incompletions. Damn, I need to get out of this graphic page. Special teams, coach talked about this. To me, I think that the kicker is going to be Connor Talty, and I think that your punter will be Blake Dowd. That's just what I'm saying for right now. And I think, well, he said that the holder could be one of the other punters as well, so I don't know. And I still think that this guy looks like Pablo Escobar over here. But that's just me. Am I right? Talked about Jalen Hell. We talked about the wide receivers. This is the big three. And then who's going to be the guy that steps up after them, right? Cole, Rico, Jalen, Lazier, Brooks. And by the way, I did see Cole out there today. They had a photo of him. I just didn't, I didn't see him. Jalen Mbakwe, saw him catching some passes. Bubba Hampton looks like he had a brace on. And then Derek Meadows out there towering over everybody. Let's see. We got quarterbacks. We got running backs, receivers. Okay, look at this tight end room. Anonymous, you live in Huntsville too? I love me some Huntsville. Huntsville's nice, dog. I love Huntsville. You know where I stayed? I stayed out by where the Trash Pandas play. You guys know where that's at? I guess it was in Madison. Did I stay in Madison, I guess, when I was out there? All right, Danny Lewis. Look at this. Danny Lewis, Josh Cuevas, Brody Dalton, transfer. Jack Samarco, transfer. Jay Lindsay came in. And then the two freshmen over here. This is a gigantic room, right? Yeah. A lot of tight ends, man. Holy cow. Starting offensive line, we talked about that. Bandit position. LT Overton, Keon Keeley, Jordan Renard, Tua Henry over here. Defensive tackles, a ton of them. Tim Keenan, James Smith, Jeremiah Beeman, Kelby Collins, Edric Hill. Do you think I guess I should add the numbers to these, right? To the guys. That would probably help us. If you want to be the best, you got to really separate yourself, right? I guess we got to get the numbers on those guys. I'll work on it. I'll get on it. It might take me a little bit of time, but I'll get it done. Isaiah Fega, he impressed me today. Stephen Bua, he also impressed me. London Simmons didn't look that bad either. Man, I'll tell you who the players are from Cali in just a second. Wolf position, monster. I can't believe this guy came back. 6'3", 262. Yanze. I wonder if Yanze's pissed that John Latham came back. Noah Carter, and then Justin Hill, monsters. Inside backer, Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, Nikai Hill, Green, Caden Jones, and Quentin Reese. The new freshman, you got Daryl Duke Johnson, Luke Metz, Abdul Sanders. Husky position, Deshaun Jones and Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. Need to get Jr. added there. Here are all the Cali guys right here. Damani Jackson, Xavier Brown, Dejon Lee, Chuck McDonald. There's 4 of them, right? Safeties, you got Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard, Zay Mincy. Somebody's asking about him today. Cam Howard, Ivan Taylor. This guy's really good. And then we covered special teams. So yeah, that's your team. I also did the coaches as well. So it takes a lot of time to put all that together, but I like it. It's a life's work. Plus, I want to give you something that you could really look at. So yeah, that's the show. Now you're just kicking it with Kyle. So if you have questions, if you want me to throw something up on the board, now's your time. That was fun. I had a good time. Remember, the raffle, it'll go until next week. 2 tickets, Alabama versus Wisconsin, $25 to get in. I don't care how many times you guys get in the raffle. I send the raffles tickets to you the day before the game. It's a value of $543. So, yeah. Now it's your show. You guys want to talk about Tank? You guys want to talk about Jack Browns? You guys want to do anything? You just let me know. Post it up inside the comment box. Do we get an official time on Tank? I guess the time on Tank is like 11, right? Let's see, Big Matt. Let's see what Big Matt say. What's up, Big Matt? Hey, Kyle, I think Matthew's guy from Gainesville ran off us getting Tank. What does that mean? I'm confused by that. But what's up, Big Matt? Good to see you, dog. Ashton's talking about Cam Calhoun. Dude, I think Cam Calhoun's going to be really good. I mean, if he doesn't start, he just adds instant depth, right? And think about this. I mean, anytime that a player doesn't start, just remember this. Like, I'm about to play in the national title game. I had to play 16 games to get there. So, I mean, if you think that this guy or that guy is just going to ride the pine for the entire year, you're crazy. This year in this college football now, you got to have 2 deep and you got to be elite at 2 deep all the way top to bottom, 100%. I'll play you a game of football. Dude, I don't play anybody online, man. Every single year, I just play like the season, and then I get so busy that I'm not a gamer. I barely know what I'm doing on the game. All my games are just completely down to the wire. Beth is asking the $1 million question. Can we find the time for Tank's announcement? Yep. Give us a final prediction for Tank Jones. Man, I don't do predictions. Steven, what's up, dude? I really don't know. I mean, I want to say Bama just for my own sake of my ratings. But I don't think anybody knows. And look, the one thing that I will say about Alabama here is like I think people might be like, oh, Oregon has all this money, Texas A&M, which is true. Bama is not broke. Bama has mega money, more money than Alabama's ever had. I think Alabama could pay Oregon or Texas A&M if they really wanted to. I really do. I think Alabama could get anybody that they wanted to the entire country. I think they have the most money. I think Alabama has more money. I know something happened, but now Alabama has probably the most money in the entire country when it comes to football. Something changed. They got really organized and they are flush with cash. They have so much money, it is crazy. Yeah, I played 2 games last night. I played Penn State and I played, who else did I play? Oh, Miami. I played Miami yesterday. Kicking situation. What's up, Eric? That's a great question. I mean, Coach Kalen DeBoer was asked about that today. He said, look, there's competition there. I think that you have to avoid early season pitfalls from the special teams. I would imagine that Connor Talty is the kicker, but I don't know. The only way we're going to know about the players, like from the kicking situation, is if they actually, when we start playing the game. Southern Red says Tank's commitment is supposed to announce on Pat McAfee's show, which starts 12 p.m. Eastern time. So 11 a.m. we'll probably get a heads up. I don't know what I'm going to do because my show's at 10 and then I'll have another show at 11. That happens to me all the time. Every single time I have a show, something big happens right after my show. So I don't know. Do I just go live tomorrow for Tank and that's my show? Do I have 2 shows? I don't know what to do. Sam is saying start using my linebackers instead of linemen. Oh, man, I'm not good enough on the sticks, dog. I don't want to take away, like, one of my tacklers, one of my defenders. Riley's saying it sounds like Tank is trending to Oregon. Hopefully that's not the case. KT Lloyd saying, oh, my God, you should see this place. It is crazy. Like, whoever came up with that narrative that Alabama was, like, poor, broke. Dude, they just built, like, a $20 million golf course overnight here for the university. And it's only for the university. Let's see what else we got. Tyler was on the show and he committed to Texas. One big show. Riley's saying just one big show. Maybe that's what I'll have. 2 shows. Saying, what's up, the baby Yaga? Man, I've been trying to tell y'all the last 2 weeks he's been holding out for the Oregon money. 3 shows tomorrow. Kimberly, always with the support. Of course, Kimberly. Yeah, you've been a top fan for life. Appreciate you. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be crazy. I don't know, Kyle. Maybe a tie with Texas. I know. That's what's the craziest thing, dude. Is that's how much money Alabama has. I know. It's crazy. But how many players left to the transfer portal? And I'm probably going to be the only person to say this, but you think all these players just came back because of like kumbaya? No, dog. They all got Ferraris and Challengers and houses. I mean, come on. Hey, man, let's all be really good teammates and just come back. Yeah, I'm sure that was part of it, but also it's probably helped us like, hey, you're gonna get another $500,000. Yeah, 100. Okay, yeah, I'm really in now. But that's how it is. I mean, are you going to the game to see the coaches or the players? That's why I always kind of wonder now is like, are the coaches going to start taking pay cuts to pay the players? I don't know. Yeah, number one, don't stress yourself. 100%. Love that. Patriot Life's in the house. What's up, Patriot Life? The Baby Yaga is saying, this is from a family member, Tank, but I think he wants out-of-state experience. Well, come over to Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa is completely different from Mobile, completely different states. Just be like, yo, you want a different state experience? Well, you live in LA. Come up to, Tuscaloosa. It's a whole different country. Auburn fans are scared of Baylor. What's up, Matt? Southern Red saying we got 130 in the chat. Give the fans what they want. Oh, man. Alex Wilder's up in here? What's up, Alex? Good to see you, Alex. Patriot Live is the bomb. Put that up again. 100%. Patriot Live is the bomb. 100%. All right. What time is it? It's 8:06. All right. Well, I hope you guys had a good day one because I did. All right. This was, it's always an honor to cover Alabama football. I've been doing it, for 10 seasons, 8 seasons, going to the practice facility and getting the chance to hear Coach Saban and being around that entire experience was definitely amazing. And now covering the team, from YouTube is great. And it's always a privilege, I could be covering another team and, understand the privilege that it is to cover Alabama football. I mean, this is the program that everybody wants to cover. This is the program that ESPN hopes does well. This is the program that On3 hopes does well because nobody drives ratings like Alabama football, right? Period. So, I mean, even think about it. Alabama, Oregon, A&M tomorrow, Pat McAfee. So I'll do some homework. We'll figure out what time Tank is, but the show is from Pat McAfee's show is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central time. So we'll cover it. I'll be here, and we'll kick it. All right. So have a great night. Sleep tight. Say your prayers. Be grateful for the life that you have, and we will cover news as it happens. And tomorrow looks like it's a big news day. All right. All right. Good night, fam. I love you guys. Thanks for supporting me as always. Thanks for supporting your team, your coaches. Janet Brooks says Jesus loves you. Love it. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And, we'll kick it. Kicking it with Kyle. All right. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Wednesday, July 30th. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football.